Hello, everybody. Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm so happy that you guys are all here today. Okay, so my dog Louie, I'm not really sure what it is that he needs, so I'm just gonna scratch his butt and hope that that makes him happy. Do you need to go outside? Do you want to go outside? No? Okay. Buddy, but you just can't be too loud, okay? Can you please just not so loud? Sometimes I think he's like a cat because he really likes like rubbing against you like cats do. I don't know if you guys can hear him. Okay, that one you probably could. Oh, Louie, he's a good boy. You my good dog? Yeah, you are. You're a good dog. So before we jump into my videos, I like to tell you guys which chapstick I'm using. I don't have a chapstick on right now, but I am still drinking coffee. Okay, I gotta figure out what Louie needs. Hold on. So he just wanted to go outside. Louie is one of those dogs that you genuinely can never give him enough attention. Like, he will never turn down some pets, ear scratches, butt scratches. It doesn't matter. He loves attention and like loves getting loved up on. So I'm sorry about that. He just gets kind of loud. Anyways, I don't really have anything else to preface this video with, so I think we'll jump into it. Today, we are talking about TikTok user Brooklyn. Now, her and her friend took their kids out to a restaurant, and they are screen-free toddlers, which is cool that they don't just give their kids a tablet, you know, and have them watch or play games all day long. Keep in mind, I am not opposed to giving your kids a little bit of screen time if you need a break, because I feel like parents or just guardians' mental health is super important, and sometimes you just need a break. You know what I mean? So I'm not against it in moderation, like anybody, you know, but they were seemingly just kind of bragging about the fact that their kids are screen free. So when people do that, I'm kind of like, okay, great. You're so much better than everybody else on the planet. Like, good for you. You're a super parent. That could be a really judgy way of looking at it. And honestly, I should try harder. But here is the video that ended up getting posted. And honestly, people had some commentary. I noticed one of the comments on one of the videos talking about the situation was saying like, yep, that waitress had the I can't wait to clock out smile on her face. And more specifically, there was a lady at the back table that just kind of had a WTF face and was looking in their direction kind of. And I will show you two really, really good takes on this whole situation that other creators had that I think are so super valid. But one of them says, yes, and if that lady would have asked to like move tables or something because of these or not crying, they weren't crying, but because of these screaming children, it would have been seen as like rude, or that she was victim blaming, or not victim blaming, but like victimizing the parents because they didn't do anything. Or I guess the two moms would be victimizing themselves because that lady moved because their children were screaming at a busy restaurant. It would have been seen as a slight to the moms, and like they could have painted it as a really negative thing, like how rude, how dare she move just because our kids are being kids, which like, yeah, I get it, but also you gotta understand that you're in a public space, people are trying to hang out, talk, have a good time, restaurants get loud, that's expected, but to have just screeching kids, that's not okay. Like, if you need to, excuse yourself to like calm the kids down or explain to them, hey, inside voices, you know, whatever you gotta do. But it's like, we all try to make sure that we are not disrupting people around us when we go out in public, and I don't think it's a bad thing to teach kids that as well, that like when you're in a public space, you just gotta kind of behave a little bit more, you know, like we all do. So anyways, this is actually the first video that I saw on the whole situation, and I thought it was so valid, so I'm gonna show that for you.
Girl, I made the same face. I love how these besties are doing everything in this video except parenting. They think it's cute to film a little video of their toddlers being disruptive to everybody around them, and don't think, hey, you know what, maybe now's not the time to record. Now's a teachable moment. I promise you that no one thinks screaming kids are cute to listen to while you're trying to have a nice meal at a restaurant, and then they try to flex that their kids are screen free. Like that means anything if they don't know how to entertain themselves without out making a whole bunch of noise. I'm sorry, but this lady's what the fuck face is taking me all the way out. And you know what? They would have been pissed if she would have moved tables or complained to the manager about them. When children are old enough to be corrected on their problematic behavior, you correct the behavior on the spot. Period. And before y'all start, nobody is saying that children do not belong in public spaces. However, you need to teach them how to act in public spaces and not just sit there and do nothing.
And then in this next video, actually, I am going to read you one of the comments because the gal that had the WTF face in the back, she actually commented and she said, "Hi, thank you for making this video. This is me. I was there with my 3-year-old and 7-month-old. This happened for a good 7 to 9 minutes and they wouldn't do anything. They knew other tables beside us were." And then Sujia, I believe is how you pronounce her name. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. "Laura, do you want me to take this video down? I will." Which is honestly such a nice thing for a creator to say because they don't have to, you know? But I'm going to show her video because it'll add a little bit more to the overall conversation.
This lady's face is how I know you're lying. Because when you say this happened for a few seconds and they were redirected, I know you are absolutely fucking lying. Because this woman who looks to have kids of her own is giving you the look of, are you gonna fucking do anything about this? Because as moms, we all know that these little outbursts are gonna happen. So this look doesn't happen after just a second or two. No. This look happens after a while. And maybe this is just my perception, but when I see somebody put text like this on a video, taking our screen-free toddlers out to lunch, I think you're trying to communicate to me that you're a really good mom, maybe better than other moms that give their kids screens in public spaces instead of attending to their children. That's the way I see it. So if you usually put this on the screen, making me think, oh, they're really on top of their shit. But then this is how you react to your kids screaming at the top of their lungs in a busy restaurant. Your hands shouldn't be over your own mouth. You should be putting them over your kids' mouths. And then is it any wonder why so many people have such negative views on parents and parenting? We're not making it look great. Not everybody thinks that everybody's kids are cute. Shit, I don't think everybody's kids are cute. I like my kids, but I don't necessarily like your fucking kids. And the rest of the caption is, they're one. Chill. At least they weren't having meltdowns. Like, this is not about the kids. This is not about what the kids were doing. Kids are gonna do what kids are gonna do. It's about you and what you were doing. And more importantly, what you weren't doing.
The comments were very interesting. They were filled with a lot of people saying, yeah, when I take my autistic child out into public and they're getting overstimulated or just something like isn't right, you know, something's really bugging them and they start getting a little disruptive, they're like, yeah, I'll take them out and just like let them calm down and then we'll go back in the restaurant. One person said when like anticipating or when being hungry and anticipating food of, you know, some sort, or just that they hate waiting for food. One gal was like, yeah, I'll take my son out to the car and that way, like, I can kind of distract him. We can do other things. He won't be disruptive to other people. And then when the food is ready, we'll go back into the restaurant. And then that way other patrons, you know, aren't being disrupted in any type of way, which I think is very valid. Like, I mean, I remember when I was in public with my parents and if I was behaving poorly, like they would punish me right there on the spot, or not really punish me, but just like talk to me right on the spot. So I don't think that's a bad thing. And honestly, these two moms, they should have done more, in my opinion. This is just my opinion, to try to, I don't know, get their children to quiet down a little bit. No one is saying, hey, we expect your kids to sit there and be quiet and not do anything. It's just, could you just teach them to use like their inside voices and not be screeching in a full restaurant? I don't know. Honestly, I thought it was really interesting because there is all sorts of conversation about kids in public spaces, and some people think that there should be spaces that are kid-free so you don't have to be exposed to just, you know, kid shenanigans and whatnot. But then a lot of parents think that that's unfair because when you have kids, you want to take them with you places, and that's how they learn to behave in public, which I really fully agree with that. And we do have kid-free spaces, like bars and such, you know, and it's like there aren't kids just running amok everywhere. So I really feel like that's, you know, a little unreasonable to ask to have specifically like kid-free areas and whatnot. And it is helpful when kids go out in public and just learn how to behave. So I agree with that, but it's like every time your kid is out in public, it can be a teachable moment to explain to them how to behave in public. So, and I just really think that these moms just kind of missed the boat on that. Now, Brooke has turned the comments off on all of her videos, and her friend that was with her, her account has since been deleted. So I think it's going to be a while till we hear any sort of response from them. But if we do, it'll be very interesting. And I'm hoping I see it because I'm really curious to see how they handle it. But that is that on that. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Please be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. And I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.